The greatest challenge that we have facing us as a country today is representatives who are active. I've had the opportunity of working with Hamza Lawal, the CEO of Code, the brain behind Follow the Money. And one of the things that, if you know the person I'm speaking about and even the program, what it has helped a lot of reformers in politics like us to imbibe as a practice is to make sure that every bill that is sponsored that becomes an act is implemented to its fullest. As we speak, the UBA Act the UBA bill has long become an act. It has not been implemented. So I'm going to champion the implementation of it with key focus and leveraging on the advantage that Abuja has, being we are here as the capital of Nigeria. The minister is somebody that can assess. So under my supervision, the oversight function of the House of Representatives or the National Assembly will begin from my constituency with focus on everything that has been made as an act to have AMAC BWARI as that constituency that implements it to its fullest. I also know the politics around the ecological fund as well. Like I said, I've had a lot of experience. You might know some of the things I've done, even on social media or somewhere, because some of these things, we do them not with the intention of having publicity over it, but to bring the experience when we have opportunity to serve. So it's about implementation. It's knowing the difference between policy, it's knowing the difference between politics and using it ultimately for the good of the people. So that wouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay, all right. Does anyone have any question? At this point, I would like to open the floor. Really, because this is an opportunity, this is a very, very interesting opportunity. We're in interesting times. I mean, 4 years ago, we didn't have anything like this. I can bet you. We just had things like people coming together in rooms or maybe an open air and then discuss. But right now we have a situation where we can virtually interact online. You can post your question. This is recorded and it will be streamed online as well. So for posterity's sake, we are holding Mr. Honorable John accountable for everything he says here. So at this point, I will ask you one more question before I open the floor. Now, Honorable, you know that you are working across different parties, and you know how frustrating it gets, all right? Trying to get things done. How will you ensure that in the first 6 months, 8 months, you are able to get things done, number one. Number two, the people that put you there will now have information as to what is going on. Because the issue of information and communication is almost zero. Transparency is zero. You know, we're asking, let's say we ask for the budget for the local government. I understand the local government monthly budget is over 400 million naira. Yes, every month. Some local government gets as high as 500 million naira. So that's where really the work is. So how are you going to ensure that this your office elevates the governance that we're experiencing now? How are you going to do that? Thank you.
Let me say this. Thank you so much for your question again. I'm coming into this office prepared. What I'm going to be doing differently is that I'm going to have the power that gives me the full legal right to do the things that I've been doing, either in the civil space, civil society space, or as a non-governmental organization. As we speak, I have incorporated a platform called Community Development Initiative Abuja. This is different from what I began 7 years ago. And while I did that, is specifically to provide a platform where my constituents will have access to information, will be engaged as active citizens to take ownership of their constituency, which is what I'm happy that is also happening across Nigeria. There's never been a time that we have active citizens as we have right now leading 2023 elections. I, as their honorable member, will become a legal voice that will tell them, don't stop this thing after election. And I will say this to you too. This should not be something that should just happen pre-election. It should also happen post-elections, where you bring us to opportunities of platform like this. And beyond virtually, we should also have physical meetings where we can be accountable to our people, where we can tell them about opportunities that exist and how they can benefit from it. So I am well prepared for this office. We're just waiting now to win the elections so that we can now implement the things that we've already designed, the vision that we've already articulated, everything that we've put together on a larger scale for the people of AMAC BWARI to benefit. So with regards to everything that has to do with funds that comes to the local government, like I said earlier, AMAC as an area council, I've never had opportunity of seeing where the member representing this constituency called the 2 area council chairmen with other stakeholders in AMAC BWARI to give account of their stewardship, maybe for a year or for a quarter. We will be the first people to begin to do that in Abuja. We'll be the first people to call the minister to tell him that right now Abuja is generating over 200 billion in total generated revenue. Let him show us the things he has done. And that's why working across party lines for me is something that is natural to me. Because in working in the civil society space, that's one of the skills you need to have, else you can't succeed. I've done that not just in the main opposition party, I've done that across other opposition parties. I've done that even across denominations, across faith, across religion in this country. With all of this experience coming into office now, it will be something that we can easily implement. And like I said, we only need political parties to win election. We need principle-focused leadership to govern. So immediately we win the election, February 25th, 2023, I cease from being the candidate of YPP. I become the member representing AMAC BWARI Federal Constituency. It is now the people that is in focus, and the people is bigger than the political party. So we look forward to working and serving the people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that submission. Honorable Barrister EC, are you there? Can we have you on back, please?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you very much for honoring this call. We don't take it for granted that you are accessible at this point. But we know that most politicians, when they need the votes, they become all of a sudden become accessible. In your office, how will you ensure that people that voted you in get the right information at the right time? How will you ensure that transparency is involved? Right now, we are not asking for too much things. We're not asking for too many things. We're just asking for a government that works. Can you list out 1 or 2 things around the local government in AMAC and BWARI, and how are you going to work on it in your first year in office, if you are given that chance? Thank you.
Thank you. You know, first of all, you started by talking about how we intend to sensitize people going forward. So I think it's 3 questions and 2 questions. 1, listing the 2 things I want to work on and how we're going to sensitize. So I'll start from the first one. You see, like I gave a brief narration about what we did in the councillorship, and that's what we are doing again. And by virtue of my candidacy, I will tell you that the youth about these elections of the reps and senate. Because you get to places and they ask, when is the date of election, your election? And I'm like, I thought people say you've been voting. So over time, people do not even know that the elections are on the same day with 3 ballot boxes, 1 for the president, 1 for the... So that's to show you that before now, we only had a group of people who have been voting for the parliamentarian seats. And you hear on the field that a lot of them are on our, so we tell you now only president that they vote for, Kabuka people, the women, I mean, only president I know. That's to show you there's a high rate of low voters education. And that is what I'm doing right now. I'm not even doing it for any personal gratification. It's more of like, I tell people, it's lonely here. I want a situation that come 2026, I see a lot of young and vibrant mind take active role in politics and consciously sensitize people about manifestos. So talking about awareness, that's what we are doing now. So we're not just even just running campaigns, we're also evoking the minds of people to get involved in politics. There's been a propaganda that I don't know who has been championing it, but you hear words like, that's so politicians be. I keep on asking, do they know the present House of Rep? They say no. Did you partake in an election? They say no. But there are people that I know voted from. So a certain class of people voted them into office. So what we've been seeing is that there has been a lack of voters education. People don't even know their polling units. Isn't that this year that a lot of youth my age and senior to me have gone to go and take registration of their polling units? So this is what it is. In fact, even now, yesterday I was calling on INEC to please find ways to give people these polling PVCs. It's not just about me. I'm not the only office they'll be voting for that day. There are going to be other offices. So we are sensitizing them going forward to also encourage our young females, because we see that we say youth, but we know there's a drain, there's a low participation of female youth in politics. It's not just mommy in the market and all. We want a situation that when you say youth, you are looking at a high rate of young women, you're looking at a high rate of young men, and together they bridge the political gap that has been there over time. That's one. Then the issue of transparency. Even on my Twitter page now and a lot of platforms, you see I give account. As you donate to me, I post it out there, because the same constitution that says a candidate should not spend over and above a candidate, it is there, and then this is where we're even starting the transparency form for people to see that we are as white as an open book. Then now the two issues I would like to address going forward, I said them when we were beginning. One, as a lawyer with a law firm, in fact, I'm even in my office, and I've given a whole lot of pro bono services to people. Abuja is a big city, but we hear one, as we are campaigning, people will speak about this name. People have been speaking about me. And I thank God for platforms that we've been representing. One is the issue of the social justice issue. There are so many people that over time, their rights have been abused in this town. Who did they run to? Who is the rep? And a representative is an advocate. So it even gives me the opportunity to play two roles as a lawyer by profession. I may not be in the chambers, but I will have a chamber run by people who are very skilled. In fact, look at my up there, you will see that my as a law firm, we are very committed to integrity, compassion, and we are very, 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 when you come, intentional. We don't just do cases because we want to do cases, unlike some people that want to just collect money and run away. We want to actually finish your matter, even when the judiciary is part of the problem. As a rep now, we'll be addressing these issues to see that the judicial arm of government are very effective. You know that in Nigeria, you carry your case to court, you see that it takes over 4 years. And these are issues. Nobody's speaking. You see in the rep, people that do not even cross the 4 walls of a university are even there, sitting and legislating on what? What are you legislating? You don't even know what you're legislating on. And only lawyers can be good legislators. But come to think of it, we want people that genuine advocates. I'm not saying lawyers are perfect, but I'm bringing my own skill. I'm not going to waste that skill as a lawyer. I will bring it and put it into quality, performance in office. So social justice. Then the issue of education. Okay, education, youthful participation, and women inclusion. I've already said that. So we want more women coming and then draw traction from organizations to partner with, and then increase the socio-economic empowerment for our young people and for our women. We are already, they are the ones complaining, and even the health sectors. We know that our health sector in BWARI, in fact, across all these wards, here in Kubwa, where I live, at Kukwaba, their health center, they don't ever have common paracetamol. Even in Igushere, they're talking about they go to General Hospital in BWARI Central to go and get basic amenities. What is going on? They say when they open up a health center, they take one drugs from this place, take to this place, and take just because they want to make the paparazzi be media, take note of or how about capture those drugs. But we know that they move and catapult them. So as imagine you surprise your ward and then come and see the healthcare center. And these people are like, hey, honorable, don't come. We say it's not about honorable. We want to see how far is the health sector dealing going forward here. I'm not a minister of health, but by virtue of my position, you can be able to liaise, talk to them and see how we can be able to raise our health centers and keep them working, running in this city. So thank you very much, among other things. But you said two, so I had to just streamline and just hit the nail on the head.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you very much for your submission. As we wrap up, I would like to give you, both of you, 2 minutes. We are expecting the Labour Party candidate House of Rep for BWARI AMAC. If he joins us before we end, that would be nice. But I would just like you to just tell us 2 things that we remember, in your campaign, right? Specifically, right? In the next 1 year, we really, really need to hold you to your words. And this is what we, the middle class, or we, the most educated, would want to really sit down and engage with you post-election. And even if you don't, enter in the eventually, you will still need to engage with you. This thing called democracy is a marathon. So I'll give Mr. Honorable John 2 minutes. I'll come back and give you 2 minutes. The floor is yours, sir.
As we go into the campaigns, and by God's grace, as we look forward to winning the elections, remember Condition Amendment Program, which is in line with SDG Goal 1 to 4. That will basically be focused on transforming urban slums. Every ward in the 22 wards that makes up the federal constituency has an urban slum. And the demography of the people in this urban slum cuts across. It will be for women, it will be for youth. You also remember productive honorable. Everything that represents productivity, from holding the people accountable, from bringing in collaborations through government and non-governmental organizations to address our challenges, to turn AMAC BWARI from being the political face of Abuja to the productivity face of Abuja. Those are the 2 things I want people to remember me for. Thank you so much. And because I still have a few seconds, I want to really thank Honorable Barrister Juliet for the time. And she can also hold me to this. I will make time shortly to also be able to see her. I believe in her candidacy, and I want to commend her for everything that she's doing, particularly in terms of helping people get justice. I believe that when more people like her are in places of leadership, our society will be better. Once again, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Okay, we have a question from Mr. Dogara. Mr. Dogara, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to thank the 2 candidates who turned up for this maiden edition of this event. I want us to know that we just started, but we are going to grow bigger than this. And for honoring us, we know that God will honor you and the people will also honor you. My question is, the honorables are sounding like Honorable John. He was saying that he was as if he was making light of issue of constitution review, issue of bills, and then he was talking about tackling the issue of slums in Abuja. So I just wanted to know how, as a rep member, how do you intend to do this thing? Because I don't know, how do you intend to tackle? You are talking about production. How do you are a member of the House of Reps, so how do you intend to do that?
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Honorable John, please, can you, in 2 minutes, answer that question?
Okay, let me correct a notion. I'm not trivializing any of the duties of a legislator. cannot say on this platform because of the delicacy of the actors involved. And we are not yet in position of power. I'm also not jettisoning the importance of constitution amendment. I know what should be done. And I can say to you that I know much more than I can speak to you about on this platform. But I'm talking about what concerns us the most right now with where we are in Abuja. You see, democracy is as dynamic as the people. It's the same thing right now for a senator, not just in Abuja. If you see people that are looking for re-elections, why do they go to do things like sharing of wrappers as a legislator? Today, if you take history, go to the communities and ask for people that are remembered, who have had the opportunity of serving in the National Assembly. I can tell you that 75% of the people who will tell you this person has served here, this person was an honorable member here, this person was a senator here, will not be able to tell you and attribute the success of what they've done to a bill they have championed. That's what I'm wanting to understand clearly. The speaker right now, Right Honorable Bajami Amila, who is one of the oldest serving members, if you go to Surulere today and ask his constituent, they will not tell you that they're celebrating Bajami Amila based on the bill he sponsored. They will tell you the road that he facilitated to tar in Surulere. They will tell you the community health center that he was able to revamp. So the greater focus right now for us as a country is amending the condition of our constituents. That is a key part of the focus of my ambition. And I know how to do these things. And I'll just say this to you, maybe it might be a food for thought for you. Abuja has the highest number of idle funds in Nigeria. Idle funds, that is what I will use for my productivity agenda. What will give me access to those idle funds is me being in a position of power. Why you have the rise of estate development in Abuja today is largely attributed to those idle funds. Estates, no matter how beautiful they are, provides just one type of employment, facility management. So you have security, you have cleaners. It's not sustainable. There's so much more that some of the monies that somebody might use to develop an estate, if it's a real investor, not somebody who is looking for just somewhere to tie down his money, can gain. And I'll give you two examples. BWARI in AMAC has one of the best arable lands, and there's nothing that stops you as a legislator from championing productivity because it's within the purview of you representing your people. The constituency project, like we've heard again and again, that they give to you or constituency allowances that you get can be based on that. And everything that I've developed is in line with the sustainable development goals. So it will be so important to the government to implement and taking the advantage that Abuja have. The same thing applies to Igu, Shere, and Kawo, like we talked about. Those large expanse of land that have not been cultivated. Even the resettlement program that began in Shere, Activity Hub, and I have the blueprint on how we can implement it. So at other opportunities when I have time to share more, we could also share more. But basically what I'm telling you that I want you to hold me accountable to. And for everything that I tell you I will do, it's not what I want to think on how to do them, it's what I've done at some scale. We only have to upscale it with the opportunity that we have for service. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Dogara, what is your name? Mr. Dogara,
Yeah. No, I wanted to ask Barrister Juliet a question.
Okay.
I just remember now that I've been seeing her on Twitter, and I saw that she's actually, her picture or her poster is actually with a candidate, a presidential candidate of a different party. So I don't know why it's like that for her. Maybe she can just respond to that. But my main question is, what does she think about cost of governance? And we know that in Nigeria, we talk about, people have been talking a lot about what the National Assembly people earn as allowance. What if she's there? What can she do about it? What can she do about cost of governance and what National Assembly members earn as allowance?
Excellent question. Excellent question. But Barrister Onisi, can you respond to that? And also, when you're responding to that, please put in that 2 minutes will be given for your remarks on what you want us to remember about you. Just 2 items, please. Be very brief. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I wanted to say something before I even answer that. I wanted to say we have attended, I think, over 100 plus seminars, debates that has been going on from when I ran for councillor to date, and I know a lot more is to come. You know, when you say candidates have been appearing before you and they talk like this, I just want people to pick this. The last time I ran for councillor, only me and Shekonya, the man from APC, came for that councillorship debate. And it was even still because of me. They wanted to hear what Barrister would say, that they organized, Kubwa would organize that debate. I've never stopped showing up. So people telling us that you meet candidates, look at this. I'm just taking a cue from this event now. We're just 2 here. So they didn't show up before. I don't, they will always show up. So, and if I go to a lot of programs, they will say, where is the rep for FCT? I thought the rep should be here, but instead the candidate should be there. These are just examples. And the truth is that you, as Nigerians, we are not picking these issues. These are the issues. So stop putting all politicians in one box. They don't do it. What I'm doing is different, and I'm coming out intentionally to sensitize people, because I don't want a situation 2026. We see that we have a lot fewer numbers of youths in the game. We cannot be preaching something and then at the other time, we are turning a blind eye to the real issues. And then most time they are just focused on what candidates are going to share for them. Now, to the issue of why I'm actually going forward to identify with the obedience movement, I want to say this. I'm the youngest candidate in the history of Nigeria running for House of Representatives. So I'm just 28 years old. In the next 12 years, I'll remain a youth, and I'm always a youth. I've always been a pro-youth, even from the days, right from time, even from my university days. I do not go against my demography. And if the youth have said that together we want a nation that works, and they are very, in fact, I keep on saying that I give credit to Obi. Obi in this race has increased the number of youthful participation that, in fact, I almost shed tears for when I was running for councillorship. The youth were so docile. That alone is enough reason for me to single-handedly say I am running, I'm going with a president or with the person that will actually push for a lot more participation in governance. We cannot continue like this. And I will not turn blind eyes because of one selfish interest or because I want to become a rep, and then I will not ignore the necessary things. We want a people that are aware, and we cannot continue to allow our people to remain pepper and Maggie collectors. If the ones in the grassroots say it's only pepper they know, then we want a youth that are aware, that can organize debate like this, and they can listen to manifestos, not a people that you give them manifestos and they are throwing it into the dustbin because they do not have the idea. In fact, the illiteracy of this nation has killed us, and we know where this high rate of illiteracy is coming from. If we do not tackle this, I don't know where we are going as a nation. So for that reason, I'm aligning with the youth, I'm aligned with the obedience movement, and I will do so continuously because I'm not a coward. I came into politics because they sought for me. I didn't sought for office. The people saw what I did and my party sought for me. And I'm happy the world today is hearing my voice, and I will not turn down this calling. I will not actually say no to this calling because I see it as a political evangelism. So, and then my party ADC has expelled her presidential candidate. I know, although the INEC still brings out Dumebi's name in the ballot paper, but trust me, I'm sure a lot of us, can you tell me candidly what you want to hold Dumebi accountable for? We're not hearing anything. I'm just the House of Rep, and the whole Nigerian youth, in fact, across border, like Barrister Juliet, that means we're doing something right to sensitize the people. And that's what candidates should intentionally do going forward. And so that's that for that. Then
you.
secondly, you said something about so the candidates, then what was the other one? But I know I'm approaching the next
Cost
things I
of
want
governance.
cost of governance. As a lawyer, I'm very, in fact, I tell people my lifelong career, I did not jump into law. I went back to study law, and thanks to my mom, after the passage of my dad, who encouraged me to go and pursue my dreams. My profession is something I love, I chew, I eat, I sleep with, and I embrace till death. So I am not lacking when it comes to doing my profession and aiming dutifully. So politics is not a career for me, like so many politicians we've known that want to go and rest there all the days of their lives. So cost of governance is something that when we get there, I do not know what they earn, because it's not, I even tell people, it's not their money they even earn that is even the high money. It's the money they take in order to close their eyes to committees that they are meant to actually investigate that actually they eat. The bribery and corruption that starts from there. You don't call out a committee, you don't call out a ministry. Section 88 of the Constitution says the National Assembly has the right and duty to investigate committees and parastatals. Those are the monies they are even eating. But the Nigerian people, I'm not sure they know this. So refer them to Section 88 and tell your constituent representative to please serve as an oversight functions and make sure you do not aid corruption by collecting even bogus monies from this ministry in order to hide their abnormalities. So, and in relation to cost of governance, I would like to agitate that it be reduced, because I cannot tell you categorically how much they actually receive. I'm not there. So if it's something that, and I know, yes, it's big and high, we'll actually push that an average and a minimum, augment it and make sure that it's something that is commensurate to the duties and offices and the duties of such office. Now, two things I want Nigerians to remember me for, because I keep saying it, when bills come to the House, you are actually going to be standing not just for your constituency, and you are going to be standing for the people of Nigeria. And when policies come there, you're not just going to be standing for your constituency, you're going to be standing for the entire nation. Two things I want the people to remember me for. One, the issue that I, Juliet Ikaire, we are champion the cause of social justice and equity in this country, and for first and foremost, primarily in my constituency. Then secondly, advocate for an active and a large inclusiveness of youth in politics. And that will be, and see myself as a role model. I know a lot of people have told me on Twitter, they see me and they admire my strength, they admire my vibrancy, they admire my eloquence. And I want a lot of youth to come on board. We do not want, it's a lonely road here. As a woman, it's tough. And we want that our young people, our young men and women play active role and they're committed to patriotism. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. At this point, I would like to encourage everyone, please keep the fire burning. Be our brother's keeper. I want to give my vote of thanks. I want to really thank you all for participating here. We'll give the summary. I'll post the summary of what the highlights of what transpired here. But before I go, I'd like to give my dear brother, Mr. Akin, to just say a word in 1 minute. Mr. Akin, can you speak up? Thank you very much.
Sheikh, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to everyone. I do apologize. I got my timings mixed up with another engagement. I have to say that it's very, very encouraging that people are now getting together to interrogate our representatives. I am of the opinion that we have come to the age of enlightenment, just following after Europe when they went through their dark ages. And that was a continent where you had certain people, ruling, and everybody else were the serfs, kind of obeying everything that they dished out. And Europe was going through its own dark times, and therefore it's the ability for it to reach its potential was definitely abridged. But once the Enlightenment came, and once people started to interrogate and ask questions, then industrialization also came about. And I don't know if everyone is aware, but even America came out as a result of the fact that people just felt they needed to go find liberty. And therefore, I believe that we are entering that stage now in Nigeria where people are beginning to ask the questions. Who is it that really wants to represent us? To get into representative democracy, it's really about people stepping up and saying they're coming to do something on all our behalves. And unlike the past, where we have just taken it at face value, now we're really beginning to ask the questions. And I hope that it doesn't just stop at this. I hope that we all understand that it doesn't stop at the elections, that we will start holding people to account even beyond the elections. If you've seen what happened in Britain recently, they've had to have several changes